Derrick Rose's injuries. 2012-2024. Derrick Rose became the youngest MVP, and then his knees rewrote the script. In 2011, at age 22, Rose won MVP with 25 points and 8 assists per night. He looked like Chicago's savior. But in Game 1 of the 2012 playoffs, he tore his left ACL. He missed all of 2012-13. He returned in 2013, only to tear his right meniscus. In 2015, the same meniscus tore again. In 2017, with New York, he tore the left meniscus. 4 knee surgeries in 9 years. Add in ankle sprains, hamstring pulls, back spasms, and even an elbow ligament tear. His explosiveness faded, and his role shifted. The first ACL tear was the moment his career path changed forever. Chicago's title hopes died as Rose fought to adapt. He reinvented himself as a scorer off the bench, peaking with a 50-point game for Minnesota in 2018. He gave New York valuable minutes in 2021, but he never regained MVP form. Rose retired in 2024 after 16 seasons. His averages, 17 points, 5 assists, tell only part of the story. He remains a legend of what could have been. And for Isaiah Thomas, the same story played out, but in his hip, not his knees. Isaiah Thomas's hip nightmare, 2017-2022. Isaiah Thomas went from MVP chatter to fighting for contracts, all because of a hip. In 2017, Thomas averaged 28.9 points for Boston and finished 5th in MVP voting. But he was playing through a torn right hip labrum. In the Eastern Conference Finals, the pain forced him to shut it down. That summer, Boston traded him to Cleveland for Kyrie Irving. His hip injury derailed everything. He played only 15 games for the Cavs, averaging 14 points on poor shooting. Traded to the Lakers, then bounced through Denver, Washington, and New Orleans, never finding rhythm. Playing through the tear was the turning point that destroyed his long-term health. By 2020, he underwent hip resurfacing surgery, a last-ditch effort to keep his career alive. He returned briefly, but never reclaimed his old explosiveness. From all-NBA star to journeyman in less than 2 years, Thomas's fall was one of the league's fastest. At his peak, he was electric, but his hip robbed him of a prime that never returned. If players' bodies can end runs, executives can ruin franchises. Just look at Isaiah Thomas in New York. Chandler Parsons' Grizzlies contract, 2016-2019. Memphis paid nearly $100 million and got less than a season of games. In July 2016, the Grizzlies gave Chandler Parsons a 4-year, $94.5 million max contract. At 6'9", with shooting touch, he was supposed to stretch the floor and modernize Memphis' grit and grind. Instead, his knees betrayed him. Year 1, he played 30-hour games, averaging just 6 points. Year 2, 36 games, up to 7.9 points. Year 3, only 25 games. Across 3 years, Parsons suited up 95 times total, less than 1 full season. By the 3rd year, it was clear the deal was a disaster. Fans booed. The team struggled. His contract clogged their salary cap during a crucial transition period. Memphis finally traded him in 2019 to Atlanta, ending one of the worst signings in franchise history. Parsons officially retired in 2022 after a car accident worsened his lingering injuries. The Grizzlies learned the hard way. Health is everything when you hand out max money. Portland Jail Blazers era, late 1990s, 2000s. Portland had championship talent, but headlines full of arrests and chaos. In the late 90s and early 2000s, the Blazers stacked stars. Rasheed Wallace, Damon Stoudemire, Bonzi Wells, Zach Randolph, Shawn Kemp. On paper, a contender. Off the court, disaster. Wallace led the league in technicals. Stoudemire was arrested for marijuana possession. Randolph punched a teammate. Kentel Woods was busted for dogfighting. Ruben Patterson was a registered sex offender. The nickname Jail Blazers wasn't a joke. It was the reality. Despite the dysfunction, they nearly made the finals in 2000, blowing a 15-point fourth-quarter lead in Game 7 against the Lakers. After that collapse, the off-court drama only grew. By 2003, the roster imploded, and the team had to reset. It took years to rebuild trust with fans. The Blazers showed the danger of chasing raw talent over character. They could have been a dynasty. Instead, they became a cautionary tale. Zion Williamson's endless injuries. 2019 to 2025. Zion Williamson's body has missed more games than it's played. Drafted first overall in 2019, Zion was hyped as a generational force. Explosive, unstoppable at the rim. But his availability quickly turned into his biggest flaw. Year 1, torn meniscus, missed 44 games. Year 2, 61 games, but fractured a finger late. Year 3, broken foot, missed the entire season. Year 4, dominated at 26 points per game in 29 appearances, then sidelined with a hamstring. Year 5, finally healthy for 70 games, but tore another hamstring in the play-in. Year 6, missed 27 more games with hamstring issues, then shut down with a back contusion. By 2025, he had played 214 games and missed 221. The Pelicans gave him a max contract, but still hadn't seen him in a single playoff series. Zion remains one of the most dominant players when active, but his health has capped both his career and the franchise's ceiling. Anthony Bennett, worst number 1 pick, 2013. Anthony Bennett was the first pick and one of the fastest busts in history. In 2013, the Cavaliers shocked everyone by selecting Bennett first overall. He averaged 16 points at UNLV, but wasn't projected at the top. Cleveland gambled and lost instantly. As a rookie, he averaged 4 points and 3 rebounds on 35% shooting. Conditioning was poor. Injuries piled up. He didn't score double digits until his 33rd game. By year 2, he was traded to Minnesota. Year 3 to Toronto. Year 4 to Brooklyn. None lasted. After 151 games and career averages of 4.4 points, he was out of the NBA. He bounced between the G League, Turkey, and Israel, but never found footing. Bennett remains the modern benchmark for worst number 1 pick, proof that hype and fit can both go wrong. Shaq and Penny, Hardaway breakup, 1996. Shaq and Penny looked like the future, until money and silence split them apart. In 1992, Orlando drafted Shaquille O'Neal. A year later, they traded for Anthony Hardaway. The duo stormed the East, making the finals in 1995. With Shaq's power and Penny's skill, the Magic had their dynasty in hand. But cracks formed fast. In 1996, Shaq wanted a max deal. Orlando offered $80 million, well below the Lakers' $120 million offer. Media and fans questioned his value. Shaq felt unappreciated. He signed with Los Angeles. Behind the scenes, the silence was louder than arguments. Penny never fought to keep him, and Shaq never felt backed. Shaq went on to win 3 straight titles in LA. Penny stayed in Orlando, but knee injuries derailed his prime. The Magic fell into irrelevance for over a decade. A dynasty that could have ruled the late 90s ended with 1 contract and 2 egos never aligned. Victor Oladipo's quad tendon tears, 2019-2023. Victor Oladipo's all-star career ended with 1 tendon and 3 devastating tears. In January 2019, Oladipo ruptured his right quadriceps tendon while with Indiana. Surgery followed, and he missed the rest of the season. His recovery was slow, and when he returned in 2020, he lacked explosiveness. Traded to Miami in 2021, he re-injured the same tendon just weeks after arriving. Another surgery, another year gone. Then in 2023, disaster struck again. This time his left patellar tendon tore during the playoffs. Different leg, same heartbreak. The first rupture turned a rising all-star into a constant rehab project. Across 4 seasons, he played just 96 games. Every time he flashed his old scoring bursts, another injury erased the momentum. Oladipo went from centerpiece guard to trade filler, bounced between teams, and was waived before he could even suit up again. His story became one of the harshest what-ifs in the league's recent history. Phil Jackson's Knicks presidency, 2014-2017. The Zen master took over the Knicks and delivered chaos, not calm. In 2014, New York hired Phil Jackson as team president, hoping his 11 championship rings as a coach would translate to the front office. Instead, it became a disaster. He obsessed over the triangle offense, hiring Derek Fisher with no coaching experience. Players ignored the system, and morale tanked. He traded Tyson Chandler, J.R. Smith, and Iman Shumpert for scraps. Free agent signings like Joakim Noah, $72 million, were busts. The turning point came when he publicly floated trading Kristaps Porzingis, the team's only promising young star. Trust between Jackson and the roster collapsed. In 3 seasons, the Knicks went 80-166. Fans turned hostile, and players tuned him out. Jackson was fired in 2017, leaving behind a broken locker room and bloated contracts. One of the greatest coaches ever proved greatness on the bench doesn't always translate to the front office.
Greg Oden's injury-plagued career, 2007 to 2016. Greg Oden was the safe pick, and his body broke before his career began. Sexism. In 2007, Portland drafted Oden first overall, choosing him over Kevin Durant. Oden had size, touch, and defense that scouts loved. He also had knees that couldn't survive the league. He missed his entire rookie year after microfracture surgery. When he finally debuted, he fractured his foot after 13 minutes. He managed 61 games in 2008-09, averaging 9 points and 7 rebounds. Then came a fractured kneecap in 2009, multiple surgeries, and years lost to rehab. The kneecap fracture was the moment his career truly ended. Hamilton to 2010 to 2012, he didn't play a single game. Miami gave him a final chance in 2013. He appeared in 23 games but was a shell of himself. By 2016, he retired after just 105 NBA games. Oden later returned to Ohio State as a coach and development mentor, showing his passion for the game never faded. His story became the second reminder in Portland history that drafting a big man with medical red flags can haunt for decades. Isaiah Thomas's Knicks front office collapse, 2003-2008. Sexism. Isaiah Thomas ran the Knicks and buried them in bad deals and scandals. Hired as president in 2003, Thomas chased big names, ignored fit, and traded away draft picks. In 2005, he dealt the pick that became LaMarcus Aldridge for Eddie Curry, whose career never lived up. He drafted Ronaldo Balkman over Rondo and Lowry. He traded Trevor Ariza for washed veterans. The Knicks led the league in payroll but went 118-212 under his watch. Locker rooms turned toxic. In 2007, Thomas lost an $11 million sexual harassment lawsuit, further tarnishing the team's image. The verdict poisoned the brand. Free agents avoided New York. By the time he left in 2008, the Knicks were weighed down by bloated contracts and no playoff appearances. It took years for the team to recover from the wreckage. Isaiah Thomas, the player, was a champion. Isaiah Thomas, the executive, left a legacy of dysfunction. And if that wasn't enough, Portland repeated history by gambling on Greg Oden's knees. Kobe Bryant's 2003 sexual assault case. Legacy nearly ended before it began, in a Colorado hotel room. In July 2003, Bryant was accused of sexual assault by a hotel employee in Eagle, Colorado. He admitted to adultery, but denied assault. The case dominated headlines for over a year. Suppressing when the accuser chose not to testify, a civil settlement followed. Though Bryant was never convicted, his image was tarnished. Sponsors like McDonald's cut ties. Fans booed him around the league. Crimson was a turning point. Bryant slowly rebuilt his reputation through championships, relentless work, and a rebranding of his image. By the end of his career, he was celebrated worldwide. But the 2003 case remains a permanent part of his story. It showed how fragile legacies can be when personal choices collide with public scrutiny.